Hi guys, this is Elliot from the Punky Bull here. Today I'm here with Kirk from Crowbar. Are you ready for this?
I sure am. It's our second time around.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Oh. Hey, Kirk.
Yo, bro.
Did you see Elliot? Oh, there's my buddy. Dude, I brought my knife.
Awesome.
Good to be on Little Punk People again. This is Bobby Blitz from Overkill.
You guys ready for this?
Yes, sir, we are.
I'm prepared.
Awesome. How are you guys doing today? How's the tour been going?
It's good so far. I mean, we're old friends. We've toured in the past. We did a European tour together. And I think I might have mentioned this to you the first time we talked. One of the things that's most important for me on the road is being with people I enjoy being with. I mean, you don't want to beat your head against the concrete after doing this for as long as I have, as long as the Crowbar guys have. You want to be able to get along good. You want to put people's asses in the seats, and you want to be able to have the opportunity to do your show. So it's been good for me.
Awesome. How about you?
Same here, doing great. I mean, we toured with Overkill in like pretty much the month of November last year in Europe, like Bobby said. And once again, I'm saying we feel the same way. When the bands can work together and when the guys all get along and bands all kick ass, it makes for a great tour.
Amazing.
It'd be perfect if we broke out into a fist fight, me and him, after this, right?
We can do it for fun, you know.
Have either of you considered doing a voiceover for cartoons?
I have, actually. I tried. My friend Steve Gibb, who played in Crowbar with me, who is Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees' son, actually had a connection years ago. Because a lot of people, when I do radio stuff, they're like, oh, you have a good radio voice, so with like some Wolfman Jack thing or something. And I would think it's, I'm not going to answer for Bobby, but equal for him. Like, once you hear his voice, it's very distinct. His speaking voice, his laugh, his whatever. But no, if somebody gave me an opportunity, I would surely give it a shot.
Awesome.
You know, it's a funny question because I never thought about how much polar opposites we are with regard to this, right?
Like,
see? We're going to kick some ass when he could good, see? But yes, I've actually, personally, I've been trying to get into voiceover work because I did, it was a couple years ago, I got a good friend of mine, Eddie Trunk, who ran That Metal Show, said, hey, man, will you do the voiceovers? You got this distinct voice. They're going to know it's you introducing the show. So I said, wow, what an easy, fun way to work. And I'm very comfortable behind the microphone. But I think that probably, kind of the way we were just talking earlier, it would be great hearing he and I as kind of like, I could be the Skeletor and he could be the Wolfman.
Kirk, what would you do if you saw Bobby secretly moving a dead body off his tour bus?
Ask him if he needs a hand. I think he's older than me.
Bobby, what would you do if you saw Kirk secretly moving a dead alien off his tour bus?
Well, these guys are from New Orleans.
So, it would probably be normal.
I wouldn't think of it as out of the ordinary, but I would, of course, I'd ask him if he needed a hand or turn that fucking light out, man.
If you two formed a band together, what would you call it, and who else would be in it? Who wants to go first on this one?
Well, it's got to be a combination of names. It's got to either be Overbar or Crowkill. Who would be in it? Jeez, I would pick some of the people that influenced me way back, and obviously share the vocal duties with Kirk. But I would go into the Judas Priests and the the Iron Maiden. I was also influenced by a lot of punk. I mean, I would, I might have somebody like, oh boy, I'd have Steve Harris on bass. I'll start right there.
That would work.
I'll let Kirk finish it.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. It would definitely share vocal duties, and I think the two vocals mixed together might be quite interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, just some, great guitar, classic rock guys or classic metal guys. Steve Harris, of course, on bass would be fine with me, and Michael Schenker on guitar, maybe something like that. we'd get it happening.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, you're on the tour bus, late at night, a UFO lands in the road, aliens come out and say, "Get in." What do you guys do?
I mean, I guess I'd get in. I mean, I'm too old and fat to run away. So I guess I'd get in. I mean,
who let you on this bus? Hey, get your hands out of the beer.
Okay, same question, but what would you do if Lemmy from Motorhead was with the aliens and he's the one who said get in?
definitely get in.
Well, obviously, if it's Lemmy, he runs the aliens, doesn't he? I mean,
Right.
which is the thing. But, it's funny. I mean, since Lemmy had passed and had such a big impact on so many people in this industry, from young gentlemen like yourself to the old farts like us here, I still think to some degree I feel the presence, if that makes sense. So he has been on our bus in one way or another. I don't know if it was with aliens, but he was sitting in that front lounge having a Jack and Coke and then playing the One-Armed Bandit. So.
Do you ever get depressed? What do you do to feel better? Do you have any advice for people who are struggling?
Well, I suppose all people get depressed. I think that's part of life, is its ups and downs, and I think it's a natural thing. I think balance is great, and I also think talking about it is great. It's not something that's huge in my life. I think I get more frustrated than I get depressed. But for sure, I have like a go-to person. And that go-to person is obviously my wife, because we have a kind of open relationship with regard to that. But I do truly believe that depression is a disease or not just a condition and should be dealt with as such and above board and not hidden. So that's the advice I would give. Not hide it.
I agree with that on not hiding it. I mean, personally, I don't get depressed a lot. I'm kind of the eternal optimist. I try to think positive, but I do suffer from like generalized anxiety disorder, and I do go to a psychiatrist for that. And I take anxiety medication, which helps me, not so much with depression, but with panic attacks and stuff like that, which you'll find out about all these things when you get older and you got to pay bills and, and life changes and responsibilities take over. But for me, my lyrics are my therapy as well, and the music is a therapy. Performing is therapy. Meeting the fans is therapy. Doing interviews like this is also therapy for me. So a lot of people tell me that the lyrics and the music help them out, and it helps me out as well. So that's really why a great reason of why I do it. Great part of why I do it.
Awesome.
Great answer.
Do you think that metal music and shows help bring people together in times of division within our country?
I do. I sure do. I think, I'm glad that I play. There's a lot of great genres of music, but in general, I think, the metal community in general are all together. It's not a divided thing. There's unfortunately a lot of division in the country politically, race issues and whatnot at this point. But I think that the shows themselves are a great outlet for coming and rocking out and having a good time and partying or whatever it might be, enjoying the music, letting out your aggression, all that kind of stuff, and also, bringing everyone together on the same page with stuff. So.
Yeah.
I don't like talking politics. I mean, I do this because it's a diversion from it. And I think the diversion is necessary, because diversions from what seems to be the flavor of the day or the issue of the month is the stuff that lets you know what really is real. That you're really supposed to go through this life feeling good. And the idea behind, these shows, say a Crowbar Overkill tour, is that people leave there feeling fucking good. And that's way more important than all those politics. And I think that what it helps people realize in the aftermath of that is that they actually are way more alike than they are different. and that becomes to some degree becomes medicinal or healing with regard to whatever those differences may be. So I've tried to stay away from politic in our lyric as to not draw lines between people and their beliefs, because I do believe they have the right to believe what they want. So I like to think that to some degree an Overkill Crowbar shows the antidote for the daily stress and drive of difference.
Okay, here's some comparison questions. New Jersey or New Orleans?
Oh, hey. What the fuck?
We're talking about unity, not division. Of course, I gotta pick New Orleans, but I love the East Coast. I'm not the biggest fan of certain areas of the country, but I do love the East Coast. People think with our accent from New Orleans, they always think we're from like New Jersey and New York. It's not that we're very far away geographically, but no, I gotta go New Orleans, of course. But I do love the people up on the East Coast. Are great.
I got a funny quickie for you here. We played Crowbar's hometown on this tour down in New Orleans, and I got to talk to the audience the first time. I said, "We're your ugly cousins from New Jersey, and tonight I'm trading in my used guys for y'all."
That's great.
Summertime or the fall?
I'm a fall guy.
Me too.
I love the weather in the Northeast. I mean, everything's crisp. You can still ride a motorcycle. You can still get days that are 75 degrees where the girls are in the shorts and you can sit outside and have a beer. And I love the leaves falling and that carpet of color we get on the mountains where kind of you and I live in that same area.
If I lived elsewhere, I would be a fall guy, because we don't really have fall. It's just still hot as fuck, and then all of a sudden, today it's not 90 degrees. So my wife and I we like the beach and the water and whatnot, so we both like, hanging out in the swimming pool or going, taking a trip or something like that. So I'm more, even though it's hot as hell in New Orleans during the summer, usually I'm on tour anyway, but I'm more of a summertime guy. Like I said, we don't have a proper fall. So we don't. The leaves, it's just one day they're gone. The trees are dead. Next thing they're back. It's not. We don't have a proper 4 seasons. We don't experience that in New Orleans. So.
Very different in both places.
Oh yeah.
Whiskey or beer?
Cocaine. It's a joke.
It used to not be a joke.
Jumped right in there.
when you get too old enough. No, I drink enough beer. I do like whiskey, but I drink enough beer and light beer that hard liquor's not good for me. I like it. It doesn't like me.
Yeah, so I'm a beer guy myself. But I like the imports. A couple of American beers I like. I'm starting to get into the IPAs. So.
Do you guys want to add anything?
Well, it's good to see you again, for God's sake.
Yeah, good to see you.
I took him. I have an old Corvette, and I took him out for a ride last
Yeah,
time,
you were saying something.
And his mom was like, "All right, put the seatbelt on and everything." I said, "We'll be back in a half hour. We're going to pick up some chicks." We didn't, but we could have.
we could have.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I was looking forward to it and doing it with Bobby as well when I found out.
Really good.
Because I even hit up our publicist. I said, "Wait a minute, is that Elliot, the young kid?" And he said, "Yep." I said, "Oh, he's great. He's a great interview." So I was very happy to do it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Tres amigos.